Hey, this is Rocket Brain Surgeon, and today we're looking at turning it around in the 113 on Lakeville. I'm in the Tier 10 Chinese Heavy, the 113. This tank is characterized by a decently armored upper front plate, a very tough turret, good straight line speed, and an acceptable gun, but nothing more. Think of it as an IS-7 that trades a bit of armor for a bit better gun and mobility. The game mode is Encounter, and Encounter on Lakeville produces kind of a big brawl around cap, which is a nice change from a lot of campy gameplay. Here I take a shot at an IS-7. I don't expect that shot to damage more than 5% of the time. However, if I would have gotten lucky, awesome. Artie is lit up in the back, and he is not interested in moving, so I'm going to take aim. And even when he goes off of radar, I still let the shot fly. I get the kill. Whenever you're in a game and you get spotted, if you don't want to get blind fired, you absolutely need to move. And here I'm about to make a big mistake. I'm about to peek my nose around the corner and immediately get punished for it. There's really no reason not to set up the side scrape there. I was just getting lazy and I paid for it absolutely immediately. However, it could have been much worse. There could have been a larger TD there or some auto loader. I could have gotten tracked and had to burn a repair kit, so on and so forth. Set it up right, and I really screwed that up. Anyway, on Lakeville Encounter, one of the things that exacerbates a poor situation is a lot of people tend to go valley, and we had 3 tanks go valley. We have another that looks to be AFK. So we're basically down 4 tanks right from the get-go. The valley push is never enough to make a difference in the game. It's marshy area, it's a long way around the map, and the cap on Encounter just happens too quickly, so whoever wins the city typically ends up winning the game. So one of my platoon mates is seeing that the valley is going to fall. We don't need to be flanked. In the city, if those tanks in the valley would have been in the city, we would have easily won. It wouldn't have even been close. But right now, our platoon mate has to go back to at least slow down that push, get in their way while we can make something happen in the city. Meanwhile, we really can't push in the city. We're definitely outnumbered, and they have a lot of tanks that are situated around C3 or C4, D4 area, which can fire into the city. Artie is most likely targeted on the city as well. So I was sitting on cap for a bit there simply because a lot of people freak out when they see the cap timer go, and sometimes you get people just suiciding into you. However, no one did that. So I'm kind of peeking back around the sides again, seeing if we can't get something to happen. So it's 5-on-7 in the city that we can see. We're down 3 tanks in the game, and it's not very clear how we're going to even the odds. There's an E75, which got tracked in just the worst possible spot for him, so I'm able to take him out. Notice that I shot him in the upper front plate, which was totally okay, simply because it was angled down and towards me. There's a 50B in the background letting his clip fly. I'm setting up the side scrape, hoping I can catch him in time. I still take a bit of damage when I pull out. I take a shot, and praise be to RNGesus, because that shot went derpy low, and still somehow I killed him. My team is getting slightly impatient, and you can see the ST1 peeking around the side, and then you can see also the Patton going into that little valley on the cap space. I think they just got bored, but it gives me a chance to go down there and make a difference on the situation. This is actually a good spot for me since it offers me to be hauled down to a lot of tanks, and with the tough turret on the 113, that's a huge advantage. So there's a Ferdy, I snapshot him, apparently I get him right in the mantlet, but he doesn't really have anywhere to go, so I can just set up the situation just a little bit later. I'm making sure not to pull out too much in front of those alleys because I know the enemy does have people on the 4-line middle road. Here we take a little more time with the Ferdy just to aim in and make sure the shot goes through. Right on cue, a Leo pops up just on the west side of me, on the other side of these buildings. And so I move to bully him. I can bully him with my Alpha and with my armor, since I can hide the lower hull with this little rock pile here. Snapshot him, he survives, but he's quickly killed off. So we were down 3 tanks at one point with a very tenuous grasp. However, our platoon mate did good work in the valley. He delayed them for a long time, and in the city we actually have the strongest presence now. So I'm in just a great little spot for me, since I can hide the lower hull behind those rocks. Very little can damage me. The IS-3 doesn't even pay attention to me, since I think he knows it's a lost cause. The JT bounces a shot off my front hull, since the only shot he has on me is the upper front plate and turret. It makes it really difficult for him to actually damage me. This game on its surface really didn't look very good. I didn't deal a ton of damage, blah blah blah. But go back and rewatch it and you'll see that I used a lot of defensive techniques in one game. I set up the side scrape to produce auto bounce angles. I went hull down whenever possible. I used buildings to cut off the angles from me and my opponents. I used the debris, these little rock things, to make sure I could create a hull down situation. A snapshot to avoid incoming fire. Add it all up and that's a win. Hope you enjoyed. Happy hunting.